Hello guys, Mr. Fluffy Pants here. Today guys, another video. And today guys, I'm reviewing Season 1, Episode 2 of Loki, which is Marvel's newest Disney Plus show, which from the looks of it is actually their biggest premiere, which is kind of interesting, even over Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, which I was kind of surprised about, which I guess is part of the thing, this show feels the most like movie kind of like out of all of them, but this episode is entitled The Variant, which is, very fitting. Also, sorry if you hear some background noise. I'm filming this outside just because it's been a long day, and yeah, so this video is probably gonna be a little bit late, but you probably hear some cars going by or whatnot, but or you might not, I don't know, but pretty much this episode picks up with Mobius and Loki. This episode's kind of like a trying to solve the mystery kind of thing, because they're trying to figure out where this variant of Loki, which we learned later in the episode, which wasn't really a shocker to us that are like huge Marvel fans, but is actually Lady Loki, which I have to say, not a big fan of the actress they got to portray her, or, whatnot. She don't really look like Lady Loki, for saying. The only way, it looks like Lady Loki is because they got the little horn crown thing, Lady Loki's famous for, but she's like blonde, and yeah, I have to say the acting was just not, or actor was just not a good fit, but maybe she actually ain't Lady Loki or something. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see, but pretty much this is kind of like a buddy cop crime movie in this week between Mobius and Loki, which I have to say Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston are so great together. They're such a Loki's a full on Mobius side, and Mobius is a full on Loki's plan, which we learned, the whole reason he's helping the TVAs because he wants to be able to overthrow the timekeepers, which from especially from this episode, and from some of the details we got in the last episode, I definitely think there's something really weird going on there. Also hear a dog now, but because I don't know, like, because we just keep hearing like the timekeepers, but they're like, hey, you can't see them, blah blah blah, which I don't know like what to think of it really, but it's gonna be interesting to say the least. But they're trying to figure out, where this variant of Loki's hiding out, and because also they kidnapped one of the hunters or whatnot, which, as I say, they lost like a bunch of hunters at this point with how many time charges we see, in the last part of the episode, which is interesting. So, Lady Loki was doing analysis to get these time charges and whatnot, which pretty much like, disintegrate worlds and everything surrounding them, which, Loki does point out or whatnot, but we just see how good of a, mischievous, however you say that word, person Loki is whenever they're in the Renaissance timeline or whatnot, the Renaissance fair, and he's just like stalling. He's like, you must take me to the timekeepers immediately, which, gives away his plan. He has this whole metaphor about how sharp ears are, even better, more so than sharp teeth, which I think is an interesting metaphor. But, Owen Wilson's Mobius is just like, yeah, I have sharp ears just like you, Loki, and, he's able to call his bluff or whatnot, which I do think it's funny that, Loki kept getting Mobius in trouble or whatnot. And then, I forgot her name, but it's like, it was like the judge in the last episode, and, she like, into Kang, which I think is one of the time conquerors in the comics or whatnot, but and, Loki just keeps getting him in trouble, but Loki does help, have a huge break in the case whenever, he's going through some folders or some files or something about, because I think it's funny, he's like, give me the folders on, creation of TVA, beginning of time, end of time, they're, like, all classified, he's like, okay, well, give me what is not classified, and the only folder is of himself, but he does learn through some of the, I guess, files or whatnot about Ragnarok's destruction, which, he gets very teary-eyed, which, I have to say, that was a pretty good scene, play some emotional music or whatnot, but this gives them a brilliant idea how the variant is hiding out in apocalypses throughout the timeline, which I think is a very interesting idea, because Loki was like, hey, you can do anything you want before these apocalypses, but they're gonna happen no matter what, and you can make whatever changes you want, because everybody's going to die, and like it won't matter with the timeline, because it said something about variants or something zero for Ragnarok or something, which I think is interesting. So and then they go to Pompeii to test it, which I think is funny, because everybody just dies there. Loki's like, tell me, oh, y'all are going to die, we're from the future or whatnot, and then Loki's like, hang on, is the TVA from the future? And he's like, I don't know, Mobius, but which I do think I saw someone point out some interesting stuff like background and stuff, which shows that like the TVA might be in the 90s or something, but they found Lady Loki through some gum or something. It's hiding out in this like I guess like a super center, like kind of like a Sam's Club, I guess, kind of place, or Costco, like in Alabama when this giant hurricane comes through, which they put like Apocalypse level 10, which is kind of interesting because, you know, Asgard, where it literally got destroyed, planetary destruction as they call it, was only like a level 7. So I'm like, dang. But I mean, they kind of do explain because, you know, when the hurricane's coming through, the water's like approaching the superstore where there's like people sheltered inside or whatnot, and then they're like, hey, the winds are picking up even worse now because I guess, like, you know, climate change or whatnot, you know, people are saying like, you know, storms are gonna get worse and more intense or whatnot, which I guess that kind of makes sense because that was like when they travel there, it's like the year 2050, which we see that Mobius has more like, I guess, humanity than the other hunters, because he's like, hey, just because, you know, they're gonna die don't mean they won't be scared of us, or we don't have to make them scared of us too, which I think is very interesting. But, you know, we get the reveal of Lady Loki, and Loki's true intentions with trying to overthrow the timekeepers, and he's like, hey, come with me. And then Lady Loki's like, for once in your life you got to learn this is not about you. And then you know, she sends the time charges or whatnot, the reset charges, because, you know, the hunter she kidnapped or whatnot gave the location of the TVA, and she sends these time charges, which I'm pretty sure kill the quote unquote kill the you know, the timekeepers or whatnot, because we just see the timeline starts wiggling and like branches off, and like it's all crazy. You know, the TVA just goes insane, all the hunters go out and whatnot, which you know, I think that's a very cool concept. You know, she like sends all the time charges or whatnot, and, you know, you just see it go crazy, which again, I don't really know if the timekeepers are, you know, like a real thing. I don't know, they kind of make them very sketch throughout the episode, which I think is interesting. So I definitely think there's going to be a big reveal coming up about that, especially think it's going to tie into Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, you know, Quantum Mania, like, since Kang's supposed to be the main bad guy of that, and, you know, the timekeepers look very similar to Kang or whatnot. But I do think that's a cool concept, how, you know, she literally bombed the TVA, and then the timeline just goes all crazy because, you know, like, it was explained in the episode, like, the timekeepers haven't you know, thought about, like, the timeline hasn't ended yet or whatnot, or they're still trying to decide it, or I don't know, something like that. But overall, though, I think this episode, Loki, definitely continued, you know, the track of the first episode, which I don't really remember what I rated the first episode, but I'm going to give this episode like a 9.2, because, you know, this episode is really good. I say it's on par with the first one, so whatever I rated the first one, I'm going to say on this one, but I want to say it was like a 9.1 or something for the first one, so I'm going to give this like a 9.2, just because I think the whole, you know, them trying to figure out, you know, the mystery of, you know, where the fugitives at and all that is very interesting, and I love Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston's, you know, dialogue back and forth. It's just really great seeing Loki with the quips, you know, just as much intelligent as him, which I think is just funny. But you know, there's also a comparison between, you know, Loki being a scared little boy or whatnot, and Mobius kind of feels empathy for him, which like I said, I think Mobius is just a really good guy or whatnot, which, you know, I love his character so much. But like I said, 9.2 out of 10. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about this episode down below. Are you guys excited for the rest of the show? I know I am. I do think that TVA is the main bad guys of the show, or the timekeepers, or, you know, whatnot. But I guess we'll just have to see. But anyway, guys, you got my Twitter and Discord link in the description. Like and subscribe for more. Check out some other videos, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.